Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to this episode of Mastering Maize of Blue. My name is Horatio Vargas Ramirez. I'm one of your hosts today.
My name is Kayla Leonard, and we're going to go ahead and get into introductions.
Like I said, my name is Horatio. I'm a computer information science major, heading into my senior year here at UMD. Lots of involvements, mainly first gen. I'm the marketing coordinator. Love being part of the organization. I hope to see you guys in the fall. You know my favorite color, red. If you know me outside of this, you know why I chose that. I'm just gonna head over to Kayla.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Kayla Leonard. I'm a senior here at U of M Dearborn. My major is in biochemistry. I'm involved in the Talent Gateway. I am the secretary of the Pride Student Organization, and I'm part of the First Generation Student Organization. And a little bit of a tidbit, my favorite singer is Mac Miller. So we are going to now hand it over to our three wonderful guests to let them introduce themselves.
Everyone, I love this title for this show, Mastering Maize in Blue. As a former alum of the University of Michigan Dearborn, I am Latresa Rice. I'm also first gen. I'm excited to be here. I am the Director of Student Support Services, which is a program in the Office of TRIO Programs, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. I graduated from U of M Dearborn with a dual bachelor degree in psychology, with honors in psychology. My other major was communications. It was in the public relations corporate business realm. So I'm so excited to be here. I do have two other master's degrees, but I'm going to turn it right on over to Rachel.
Thank you, Latresa. Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Leonard, and I am the advisor for the Student Support Services program in the Office of TRIO Programs. I'm also an alum of UM Dearborn. I graduated in 2018 with my bachelor's in communications, and I went on to get my master's degree from EMU in higher education. And I'm also first gen, so it was my, first person in my family to, earn my bachelor's degree. So I'm super excited to be back on U of M Dearborn's campus and helping other first gen students and other continuing gen students to be able to reach their goals and, live out their dreams. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Austin.
Thank you, Rachel, and thank you guys for having me on. My name is Austin Kiff-Miller. I'm not an alumni. I'm a current student at University of Michigan Dearborn going into my junior year. I am a tutor mentor for Student Support Services, and I am studying economics and political science at the university, hoping to double major in both. I'm also involved as an Experience Plus tutor for the summer. I'm involved in the Economics Club, the Honors Program, and on the Alumni Society Board. So thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to get started.
Perfect. Thank you all. And with that being said, we're going to hop right into our first question. What is your favorite part about UM Dearborn?
Wow, there are so many great parts. My favorite part about U of M Dearborn is the family feel. I love the fact that you can get assistance, you can walk through. How many of you have ever been maybe freshman year at high school and you've walked on your campus in high school and you ask for directions? And then as you're asking for directions, someone may have given you the directions in the wrong place and you got lost and all those things. What I find at U of M Dearborn is we're such a family where you can ask anybody, how do I get here? And they will do their best to assist you. So I love that part about U of M Dearborn.
For me personally, I would have to, echo what Latresa said. Definitely the family feel, the community, but also the different opportunities that you are able to get while you're at UM Dearborn. I was able to get an internship. I was a student employee on campus in several different offices. I was able to be a part of a scholar community. There's so many different resources and opportunities for you to, grow yourself and jump outside of your comfort zone and just really be able to experience life beyond just, like Latresa said, either high school or what you know in your hometown. It's really a great time to just expand and do it in a safe community, a safe space where you have those support systems, your fan club to be able to rely on when going through those different experiences. So I would have to definitely say, you know, all of the different things that you're able to do when you're at U of M Dearborn, that is definitely my favorite part.
And just echo what both of them said. I think those are all great points. But just to echo that close family relationship you build at the university, but especially on the academic level. I think a lot of people, when they think of U of M Dearborn, they think on a personal level, the friends you make and the people you know in your classrooms, just because of how it's smaller classrooms compared to large scale universities. But also what's great about U of M Dearborn is kind of like what Rachel said about getting internships and opportunities, student employee on campus. Even the relationship you build with your professors are relationships you won't find at a different university. If you think of a different university or any large scale university, you might be in a lecture hall of 100+ students and you might not know your professor at all. You may never carry a conversation with your professor, you know their name, but that's about it. At the University of Michigan Dearborn, I know, and personally just being virtual over the past year, I already built connections with a lot of my professors and I love my professors. I thought they were great. So on an academic level, it really boosts your confidence because it doesn't feel like you're just another name in the crowd. It actually feels like the professor wants you to succeed, and it gives you that motivation to do your best academically.
All right, thank you all for answering that question so lively. I appreciate everything you guys have to say, and I feel the same way. I've been on this campus for almost 4 years now, and speaking of such, we're just gonna head over to the next question. And I know you guys just touched base on this on the last question, but if you wanna just go a little bit more into detail about how you would describe the campus and the community to, incoming freshman, a transfer student, just an outsider, just wanting to be part of this really awesome community, what do you have to say about it?
I would describe the campus as family-centered. I believe we have quite a few events that are hosted on our campus that encourage students to bring their families with them. A lot of times people think more individualistic, but I think at Dearborn, we consider the family and we make sure we have opportunities for not just the students, but those who are connected to the students. I also would say there are so many beautiful areas on U of M Dearborn's campus. If you are, let's say you're taking a break, for example, in between classes, and you just want to relax, you can go over to the Mardigian Library and that third floor area where you have the blown glass exhibits, and it's so much beautiful artwork there. I used to do that a lot. When I was studying intensely, I would take a break and just walk through that third floor of the library and observe all the different art creations. And I think that's beautiful. You can also walk through, there's over by the administrative building, there's a little pond area there where you can sit and study and watch the geese in the water. And I would definitely say the campus is gorgeous, if you will, and provides opportunities for you to regroup after intense study. So I'm going to pop it over to Rachel.
Thanks, Latresa. Yeah, definitely. Campus is so beautiful. It has so many different areas that you can go and just take a break from, the stress of studying, or if you have an exam coming up, you can really refresh and regroup. But I would have to say, if I had to describe the campus and the community of UM Dearborn, I would have to echo what Latresa said about the family feel. But on the other hand as well, I think a lot of times when we think of college, we think of this huge institution where, as Austin mentioned, you just might be a number on campus or just another name in the crowd. And that is definitely not it at UM Dearborn. I remember specifically walking to class one day from my car, and one of the campus safety officers remembered me and pointed me out. And he was like, "Hey, why didn't you say hi to me?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. I didn't know you remembered who I was." So I think that's just a testament to say all the faculty, all the staff, all the admin, even the chancellor, they take the time to get to know the students, because that's why the college exists, is for the students, and they truly want to see you succeed and invest in your future. So that campus community feel, it's really intense, it's really tight knit, and I think, like Austin was mentioning, those relationships truly do matter in this campus for everybody, the students, the faculty, the staff, even the alumni. So that's what I would describe it as, is definitely tight knit and, really, really focused on success and growth.
Yeah, I mean, and they really hit the nail on the head there with all the descriptions that they just gave. But describing campus, it's gorgeous. It's straight to the point. It's campus is just great. You can't say enough about the campus. The community, same way as Rachel, closely knit. It's like a family, like Patricia said. It's just, and you know, we say these things and people probably like, yeah, you know, that's great, but it's like we really do mean them. We mean what we say about community when we say it's closely knit and like a family, because it really is. You have to feel it. You have to be there to witness it, to actually understand exactly what we mean and how to appreciate it. But I also appreciate when Rachel's describing the community and that story she just told, and how you recognize, people recognize you. You're not, it doesn't feel like you're just another name in the crowd. And I think alongside that, I would describe both campus and community as intertwining, because you're not just a name in the crowd. So whenever, even if you're walking to class or walking to a club, or if you're walking back to your car, chances are you're going to see someone from your class. You're going to see a professor that will say hi to you. You're going to see, you know, some sort of friendship or bond that you made on your journey at UM Dearborn. And that's what's fantastic. It's just so rewarding to go from class to class, organization to organization. Maybe you're a student employee, maybe you're just walking to your car, and always being able to see someone that you recognize, to see someone that you have in class that you have a bond with. So there's always this intertwining aspect that you're going to run into someone, run into a professor, and you're always just going to have these friendships here and there to get you by in the community.
Yes, I totally agree with every one of your answers. And I think personally, I relate to Latrice's a little bit more, especially seeing as how campus is really designed for like families, and not just a family feel, but families being on campus. My sister is an alumni, and when I was in middle school, high school, I was coming to campus and seeing events and joining different events with her. And it really exposed me at a young age to how campus can feel, and it made me excited for college. So I think that's something really unique that U of M Dearborn provides for people like me and people like you guys. So jumping right into our next question, what is student support services?
Student Support Services is a federally funded TRIO program. And under TRIO, there are 8 different programs, but with Student Support Services, we provide academic support and guidance. We provide mentoring opportunities. We provide opportunities to find out what scholarships, unique scholarships, how do you find those? There are so many different workshops that we provide to our students to help them be successful in college and beyond. If I was to really give you a heads up about what Student Support Services is and what we do, we really service students who are considered first generation college students, students who meet certain income guidelines, students who may have a GPA of 2.0 or below. However, that doesn't mean if you have a higher GPA, you can't join Student Support Services. You can. It's just one of the criteria. And students who may have been told that they need to take a remedial course. We also are looking for those students who may have a disability, a learning disability of such. So Student Support Services is a federally funded program that is housed in the Office of TRIO Programs. So this is a partnership with the federal government and the University of Michigan Dearborn, just to give you an idea of what it looks like with regards to how this program functions. And I'm gonna pop it over to Rachel.
Yeah, thanks, Latrice. And I want to reiterate, the point that you made about student support services isn't just for, a student who might need that extra layer of support in terms of, your GPA, or if you're first gen, or, if you are a student who identifies with a disability. Student support services is for everybody. Like, we want to help, as long as you fit that criteria, we want you in our program. We want to be able to help you and to serve you. And the way that we function, we customize that plan to you. So for different students that I work with, I serve as the advisor. So every student will come through and they'll meet with me. We make that customized plan for you. We talk about what went well last year, what didn't go well last year. How do you think we could help you be able to improve what you're doing, either academically, career development wise, anything and everything. We try to, assist you through that process. So that was more speaking on the advisor side. So I'll actually pop over to Austin to let him tell you a little bit about the services that we provide with, tutor mentoring and what it is.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Great points made by both Latricia and Rachel. While we are here to service you academically, tutoring, mentoring, which is great, we're also here just to be that support system, to be that motivator for you, even if you feel down, even if it has nothing to do with your classes. If it has something to do with planning for the fall, or you're not sure what organization to join, or if you just need to meet with your advisor, tutor, mentor, discuss, am I on the right track? Am I on the right track to graduate in time? Am I on the right track, with enough credit hours for the semester? Whatever questions you might have, that's what we're here for. So my role as tutor mentor comes in as if someone is looking for academic help. Tutoring obviously is a service that I provide. I've tutored people in writing, economics, math, all sorts of things. In addition, I'm also there to be a mentor. So if they have questions about classes, if they have questions about how to proceed on campus, where to go on campus, who to talk to, I can direct them the right way. I can direct them to financial aid. I can direct them to resources that might be available to them to help them in their process at the university. And that's kind of my main role, is to help these students get the support they need academically and on the mentoring side to make sure that they're doing well on campus and to make sure they're having a good experience at U of M Dearborn.
I just want to make sure I add this in here. Definitely check us out on Victor's Link. Student Support Services hosts some amazing events. Last night's event was straight fire, if you will. We had a building credit workshop, and so many students that were joining in that workshop gained insight with regards to how to build good credit, whether it's personal credit or even starting business credit. Many of our students are in the School of Business, so that was an awesome opportunity. Take advantage of the opportunities that Student Support Services offers, because they are open to more than just our students. They're open to the campus community as a whole, the majority of our workshops. So I definitely encourage you to check us out on Victor's Link and rock out, hang out with Student Support Services. We have a ball.
This is right, Latricia. As a Student Support Services student myself, I know you all personally. I've had a great time getting to know you all these past few semesters, and it's just been an awesome experience. I'm heading toward the end of my undergrad career, but getting to know you all and getting to speak with Rachel as an advisor, Austin, we just have a different career path, so our paths have never really crossed, but getting to know you guys as friends and not just as my mentors or advisors, it's been really cool. But people still have kind of questions, so we're gonna head over to the next slide, and I just want you guys to talk about some of your main responsibilities. I know Rachel and Austin kind of went into it a little bit, but just kind of broaden it out, like what's fun about it, what's not so fun about it. Just talk to us a little bit.
Okay, my main responsibilities as the director is to make sure that we are assisting our students to the best of our ability. We have to have 140 students enrolled in the program, and 67% of those students need to meet the income guidelines and be considered first-generation college students. 33% need to be considered have a disability. So just to give you an idea, I'm looking at the numbers. I am the statistics person. I am the person making sure we're compliant with the grant, because this is a grant-funded program, making sure we're compliant with the grant, and also looking at what things can we offer our students that goes above and beyond. For example, students who are in our program, we do our best to assist them to go on to higher levels of education, which is our objective. So we look at that form. Who wants to go to a master's program? Who wants to go to a doctoral program? And we try and find different grad fairs and then throw in some cultural experiences and fun things with that. But at the same time, we also pay for our students to be able to have test prep. Many of the graduate programs do require you to have a certain GMAT score or a GRE score. Depending on what field you may be going into, you may need an LSAT score. And some of those testing materials are very expensive. But with Student Support Services, we pay for that for our students so that they can utilize those test prep materials for free under our expense. We also have a book borrowing program. So a student in Student Support Services who may be struggling to acquire a book and they can't find it anywhere else, we're able to acquire that. They sign it out and then return it at the end of the semester. So we have so many different things that we offer, and I'm always looking for ways to help our students above and beyond. Passing it over to Rachel at this time.
Thanks, Latresa. Yes, all great, services and resources. And Latresa failed to mention that she's just the rock star of the entire program. She is our go-to for everything. Like, we love her. Her energy is just exhilarating. You ask anybody in the program, Latresa is it. So definitely wanted to give you that shout out, Latresa. We love you so much. But my role as advisor in the program is to be your jack of all trades. I'm kind of like your one-stop shop resource for any questions that you might have. I definitely help with, a little bit of academic advising, so we can take a look at your degree works if you're not sure maybe what classes you want to take for fall, or if you want to plan out a couple semesters ahead of time. We can look at, what your requirements are and figure out a game plan that you can take back to your unit academic advisor and propose that to them to say, like, hey, these are the classes that I want to take, X, Y, and Z, and have that conversation from there. I also help, like Latresa said, we do, scholarship workshops where we can help you find out how to find those unique scholarships. And then we'll also come back and help you with your application materials, writing those essays. You'll have to write the essay, but we'll help you, look at it, edit it, make any suggestions. I can also help with, interview prep, looking at resumes. I've done letters of recommendation. So if you're in the program and, we have some good rapport and I can speak on your behalf a little bit, I'm more than happy to, have that conversation about potentially a letter of rec. I also do a lot of planning behind the scenes as well. So, all of those field trips that you see, all of those workshops, those wonderful newsletters that you get, that is a combination of both myself and the rest of the staff in the program. So making sure to work hard to provide you guys with, that really great, solid information to be your one-stop shop, and to make sure that that you're not alone in the process and that you have me on your side. So if you ever have a question, please text me, call me, feel free to email me, drop into one of our drop-in sessions on Wednesdays from 4 to 5. We'll be there. I'll be there so I can be your one-stop shop and answer any questions that you might have.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. And so my main responsibilities, so I kind of follow after the students meet with Rachel. So when students meet with Rachel, I'm glad that she mentioned all the great stuff that she does one-on-one with them. They also set a thing called a SMARTY goal, or just a goal in general for them to carry out throughout the semester, throughout their life at U of M Dearborn. And this goal is what I try to see them accomplish. So in the past, I've had some students, their goal at a semester or in a year is just to simply raise their GPA. And so to see that happen, my main responsibility is to work through them through their classes, whatever that may be, whatever it may entail, and make sure that they're on the right track, make sure, I edit or look over their assignments and to see that they're doing good just so that they get a better grade in the class. So on the physical tutoring mentoring side, I'm there to see them succeed in their classes, to not lose motivation, to keep pushing. And it's so rewarding to watch that, because the reason I joined SSS in the first place is I really like helping people. I think it's just so rewarding to see people achieve their goals and to succeed after you have worked with them one-on-one, and to give them that motivation to keep striving harder and harder. And so after meeting with these students, my main responsibility is just to make sure that I see that happen. I want to make sure that I see that motivation spark within themselves, and I want to make sure that they're doing the best they can in their classes and at U of M Dearborn to just succeed and thrive. So that's my main responsibility, my main focus for the students. But I also do a lot of workshop planning in the background. So a lot of the great workshops you see, sometimes maybe I'll do the presentation, maybe sometimes I'll contact the person to get for the presentation. So a lot of behind the scenes work for workshops and events, field trip planning. I'm also involved with stuff like that. And even those Victor's Link events that you see on Victor's Link that all of you should definitely check out because you can see all of our events in the future. I make those as well. So a lot of the behind the scenes planning, brainstorming, events creation, that's also part of my responsibilities. But my main focus and main responsibility is on the students, making sure they succeed, making sure they thrive on campus, and making sure they carry out the goals that they have for themselves.
Yeah, and just to pop back in one more time, again, Austin, thank you so much for, being that brainstorming piece and helping us make sure that we provide those programs and events for students. But we also love to get your guys' feedback as well. So if you're an SSS, program participant, if you're in the program, we look for your, input and what you want to see. And so we do have, that suggestion box type activity where students can submit what they'd like to see. But also, one thing that I think we forgot to mention when talking about SSS is when students do enroll in our program, they have 3 things that they have to, adhere to for keeping their active participant status. So once you're in SSS, you do have to engage in 3 different ways. One is meeting with me. So you'll meet with me. We'll do, like Austin said, a SMARTY goal. We do that goal setting piece. And then we also do anything, customized to you, what type of support you will need. You'll also want to make sure that you meet with a tutor mentor at least once as well. So getting that, initial meeting on the books, building that rapport, learning what type of services that they provide. And then finally, you'll attend at least one workshop or event that we host. So as long as you hit those 3 things, that is something else I, kind of keep track of and help communicate that to our participants to make sure that they're reaching that active participant status so that they can maintain their status in the program.
Yes, thank you so much for answering that, y'all. You're like a really well-oiled machine coming from an outside perspective. Like you would never know that all of that work went into that. Especially because it goes over so well. And the workshops, I do have to say, I just want to put this out there. The workshops and the grad school fairs are some of my favorite things to go to. Especially because I'm not there yet, but I like going to see, the things that I will have to do in the future. So really thankful on that part for this program. And if you're not in it already, you should join. But hopping right into the next part of the questions, what is your favorite part of your job?
Wow. My favorite part of the job is seeing a student go from not knowing what to do, struggling, to being confident in what it is they want to pursue and actually achieving those goals that they set. Another thing, my favorite part of the job, because it coincides with that, is watching my team members really stand out there and provide that level of intense support to our students and go above and beyond what their call is with regards to their position. I love seeing progress. That's my favorite part of the job.
I think for me, I would have to echo what Latricia has mentioned with, student success and growth. Horatio and Kayla, you both have mentioned that you're part of SSS, and I think you both hit the goal, that we had created back in the winter semester. So just you two, like as examples, you were both able to, surpass what the goals that you had set. And I also had a student who, like I mentioned, we worked on, letters of recommendation and scholarship applications. And she was actually accepted into an institute that she had applied for, in which she requested help from our program with. And so just seeing, our students go above and beyond like what we initially set out, like we'll set that goal and they go way above it. So I just think, being able to be a part of that process is definitely one of my favorite parts of my job. But I would also have to echo being like back at UM Dearborn too, because UM Dearborn to me was home. as an undergrad, and it really was where I developed my passion for my career and being in higher education and working with students one-on-one. And so being able to be back on campus soon, to be able to, you know, work one-on-one with students and to be able to engage on campus with the community is definitely a favorite part of my job. Like, I love it so much. It's home to me. So definitely a favorite part.
Yeah, for me, I have to once again echo what both of them said. It's so rewarding to see the progress the students make in our program, especially working one-on-one with them. I had students that I met with in semesters maybe 15 to 20 times, and it's just so rewarding to see at the end of the semester how they achieved their goal, they got a good grade, they did what they want to do. I've had students say that they got such a high grade in the class because of tutoring mentoring, which is awesome. So seeing this progress and seeing the end result is just so rewarding. And it's so worth it. I just love every second of it. But also alongside of that, this job is just a job that I actually look forward to doing, which is something that for a long time I couldn't say. I used to be a shift manager at Arby's, and I just remember every shift was a new trudge through hell. And I just remember loathing waking up to open, loathing closing the store, and it was just a mess. And it's just something I did not look forward to. And I really have always had this passion to help students out and help people out and to be a tutor mentor for students. And this job just fulfills that in every way possible. Not only am I able to work with these students and to see them grow and to see them succeed, but it's also just a fun job in general. I mean, you get to work through workshops, plan events, plan field trips, go on field trips. The staff is super friendly. Even the whole trio staff is as friendly as it gets. Working with Teresa and Rachel, you know, it's all just a blast, and it's all just a great time. So it's just a fun, great job that's so rewarding and so worth it to watch students grow and to have that staff behind you to motivate you and to always be there every step of the way.
Awesome. Thank you guys for answering that. You know, Rachel, as you mentioned, Kayla and I being SSS students, it's just been a really fun thing. It's been great because, you know, you guys have become part of this support system, and, you know, it's evolved from more to just like student advisor relationship. And I think that's been like my favorite thing about your job, how easily you guys are able to connect with students and build these relationships. And that's going to lead us into the next question as to what made you want to get involved with this field. What made you want to get involved with students? What made you think this is what I want to do? This is something that I really like.
That is a great question. For me, it goes back to my experience in undergrad. When I was a student here at the University of Michigan Dearborn, I was involved in roughly 9 different organizations. I was the president of one and vice president of 2 of those organizations. And I had an opportunity to really realize what it meant to be involved on campus and the importance of it. And so when I left from U of M Dearborn and received my full license to practice social work, I started counseling youth. From there, I was counseling youth and adults and continued to move forward. I started giving presentations. So I've always had a desire to help youth and others excel. With regards to this particular job, this job coincides with my personal background. I am a first-generation college student. When I was 7, my mom died from AIDS. I was raised by my grandmother. And I remember being in high school and my grandmother said, "You're going to college, but I can't afford to get you there. You have to figure it out." And I had a counselor who was on a scholarship judging committee. And she told me how I can find unique scholarships and how I can position myself to acquire most of the scholarships that I applied for. And with that information, I remember applying for 14 different scholarships. I received 5. One was a 5-year tuition and fees paid scholarship to the University of Michigan Dearborn. And then I continued to use that same method to acquire other scholarships at the University of Michigan Dearborn, at U of M in Ann Arbor, and also when I received my other master's from Central Michigan University. I use some of the same techniques. These are some things that I've been sharing, and I share with my staff, and we have shared with our SSS students. How do you find these scholarships? How do you apply for them? There's so much money out there that people are unaware of. And so what made me get involved with this field is thinking about the things I wish I'd known while I was a student. I wish I knew how to build good credit as a student. I wish I knew which dealerships actually give first car buyer concessions and all those different things that I know now. And this particular field puts me in a position to help others who are first gen, who maybe meet certain income guidelines, others who may deal with a disability. I'm able to actually help them by getting them the information I wish I had. So I'm excited to be in the field that I'm in.
Wow, Latricia, that is so real. Like being first gen, being able to provide that education, that wisdom, those resources to help students who are maybe in that same boat or that you wish you would have known when you were a student. I think that's 100%, in a nutshell, that's why I am where I am today. I mentioned that I went to UM Dearborn as an undergrad. I started my time there. I lived at the Union, and I would go to class and go back to my room, and that's it. And I was not in a good place. Academically, I didn't really know where I fit in on campus. And so it really took me jumping outside of my comfort zone and getting involved on campus through orientation as an orientation leader to be able to really find my way. Find my way and to be able to, develop that passion. And so I mentioned as well, having multiple different, employment opportunities on campus. I was in alumni engagement as a student assistant. So I got to meet, different alumni and hear about their different paths, as well as, work with business affairs and enrollment management services and, HR and the chancellor. And so it was just very eye-opening to see, like college isn't just somewhere you to go to get education. Like people actually work here. Like this is actually a thing that you can do. And so it was through my, involvement with orientation and being an employee in alumni engagement, as well as Talent Gateway, and interacting with students and just the higher ed field as a whole, to know that like, hey, like this is actually something I could do for the rest of my life. And so I, again, went to Eastern Michigan University to get my master's in higher ed, and I am back now. Very grateful for Latricia and, her team for bringing me on and bringing me back home, because this is truly where I want to be. Because again, like Latricia said, I'm able to provide that guidance and that wisdom and those resources for students who were just like me, who were first gen and who didn't know how to get started or didn't know what major they wanted to pursue, or even the career for the rest of their life, and thinking that like, oh my gosh, if I don't make that decision like right now, what am I going to do? So that is definitely why I am in the field that I am in, to, provide that support and give back to the community that gave everything to me.
That's awesome. And I'm gonna break the train here on first gen. I'm not first gen. I'm sorry. I let you guys down, but I'm gonna break this train. My reason for getting involved with this field was not necessarily, I do put a high stress on helping people. So that for sure is probably number one why I got involved with this field. I love to help people and see the reward. But since I've talked about that so much, I think that's kind of a given at this point. But another huge reason why I joined this field is because I have always, in my whole life, put a very high emphasis on education, not even on the college level, education in general. And education is the building block to what you're going to do with your life. If you don't get a good education, or if you don't, not necessarily good education, if you yourself aren't getting educated enough on the subjects that you want to go into, chances are you're going to be, frankly, uneducated. And you're not going to go into that career with a great, healthy mindset. You can still be successful without going to college, don't get me wrong. But I think that the stepping stones that we provide here at SSS are just a great resource to help people get advanced into what they want to do. And so because I've placed this high emphasis on education, this field, getting involved in this field, helped me satisfy those requirements to help people with their education, to see people thrive in their education as I want to see them thrive, because I've always put a high place on it. So I think education is super important, and this field gives me the opportunity to work with students and to make sure that their education is going well, and make sure that they're thriving at the university, and to make sure that whatever career they have in mind, I'm able to help them with that for a long run, because what they're learning now, they're going to apply for the rest of their lives.
I admire all three of you for lending your heart out and doing everything that you can in your power to help people who are just like you in the same exact position. And that just makes me so happy, and I'm so glad that you all shared that with us. But moving on to the next question, what benefits can students gain from being a part of SSS?
One of the key benefits that I believe that students can gain from being a part of SSS is knowing that they have someone constantly in their corner. Sometimes when you think college, you think I'm by myself, especially if you are first gen. It may be I'm by myself. I can't go and ask my parents for advice on how to navigate the college environment if they haven't been here. I can't go and ask my best friend how to do it if they're not in college. And one thing about it is, if I'm in SSS, I can ask my tutor mentor, because that's part of their role. They're helping to mentor me and show me different things. So I automatically have someone on my team that knows the ins and outs of the facilities that I just joined at the University of Michigan Dearborn. Another major benefit to being a part of this organization is being able to gain insight with regards to where everything is, who are the key people you should be forming connections with. Again, when you are in college, it's all about networking. It's so important to do more than just go to a class and go home. You want to make sure that you're getting involved. Some of the connections that I made as a college student in undergrad, I still have to this day. And many times, and I mentioned that I graduated from U of M Dearborn. Well, being involved in the different student organizations gave some of the faculty and staff an opportunity to see what I could do. And so after graduating from the University of Michigan Dearborn and going into different areas, when it was time for this type of position, someone reached out to me about it. So when you're involved on campus, you're making connections, and it's important to make sure you're involved, you're giving it your all, whether it's a student organization, whether it's working for a different department. Another benefit that I believe students gain from being a part of SSS is you're exposed to so many different cultural experiences. We take students on field trips, and pretty soon we'll be able to go out of state and go to different graduate fairs and explore things that are in that state, some landmarks. But we make sure that we expose our students to things that they may have never been exposed to before, while at the same time ensuring that they will graduate. That's one of our missions in this program, is that the students who join SSS will obtain a degree from U of M Dearborn and go on to higher levels of education. So it is a program in which, if you're a part of it, you feel the family connection. You are exposed to cultural experiences. You have multiple people who are on your team making sure you're succeeding. So you have a constant cheerleader in us. So I definitely would say there's some awesome benefits. And I'm going to transfer it over to Rachel.
Thanks, Latresa. Yeah, 100%, like, echo everything. And like Kayla had mentioned, like, she said that, hey, I'm not like quite at grad school yet, but I'm interested in learning about the process. And I think that's one thing, like Latresa said, that our program definitely offers as a benefit is you guys can, take that risk without having the consequences of, like going out on your own, trying it and failing. Failing is a part of the process. Like, failing is learning, failing is growth. So failing is good, but fail with us, right? Like, have us in your corner to be able to help guide you through that. And so it's not really failing. It's just, trial and error, see what works for you, and you can, grow from that. But I think also, I'm only going to mention one thing because I want to make sure that, Austin has some things to talk about too. Free. We offer so many free resources, you guys. Like, at the end of the day, this is a federally funded grant program for us to be able to bring you resources that you might not have had without it. So like Latricia mentioned, our, textbook loan program for students who, necessarily can't afford textbooks, or maybe the library doesn't have access to the certain course materials that you need. We help students with that. We bring different workshops and resources to you guys. So like Latricia mentioned, building credit workshop, like come and talk with a credit union rep about, how to build credit. And we've done, different field trips. So we went to the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum for an after hours visit. We went to Top Golf, as you saw in a previous picture. So, getting those experiences and being able to do that all for free, while being an active participant in the program and gaining through different, resources and experiences, and being able to just truly jump out of your comfort zone and grow.
That's awesome. I think I'll just kind of act as like a summary in a sense, but basically being part of SSS, you have free access to a tutor, a mentor, an advisor, informative workshops, field trips, a book borrowing program, and so much more. I mean, the list goes on. And it's like Rachel said, it's free. It's not like you're signing up for like a $10 per month, thing going on. It's just a free service that you can join. And it's just absolutely fantastic. And I know hearing Rachel's story about when she was at U of M Dearborn and she was in a bad place originally, she probably would have really benefited from SSS if it was around, because it gives students that support and gives students those resources to succeed. And that's what's fantastic. And that's why I love this program so much. We are there to give you those resources. And it is a judgment-free zone as well. So I think a huge benefit that these students can gain is that it's when you come to either me or Rachel or anyone in the program, it's not like this is some gossip center, like, oh, did he or she really just bring that to my table? Oh, what a sucker. No, it's confidential. If something's going on, if they're in a really bad spot, and if they need help, we're here to fill that role for them. And that's what's great, because without this program, some students may not know where to go. Maybe they don't have family. If they're first gen, their family's far away. You can't go to your family. Maybe they're having trouble making friends, So we're here to fill those roles. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. And just to summarize it, it's just that support system. Being that support is key. And that is by far, without question, the main benefit students can gain from this program.
Austin, I have to agree with you and everything else spoken. It's been a great experience being part of SSS, and personally being first gen and having siblings that have gone to college, but having that age difference too. It was always kind of a weird experience, trying to navigate through everything and trying to get involved in different things on campus, which is why I'm grateful to have you all here today and grateful to be part of your program. And speaking of being part of your program, we're going to head over to the next question. How can students get involved with SSS?
The main way that you can get involved with SSS is we have an assessment that is on all of our printed materials. It's at the end of every workshop. You would just scan a little QR code. It goes straight to the assessment. Once you complete that assessment, I will look and see if you're eligible for the program. If you are eligible, you receive an online application. Once you complete that, and the goal is to complete it within 72 hours. Once you complete that application, and you're going to receive a welcome email from us, and it also will have a CC for Rachel. Rachel is our advisor for the program. You'll set up your meeting with Rachel. At that point, you're already involved. So I would definitely say, make sure you're attending a workshop. You can meet with an advisor with your colleges that you're going to, because they have our QR code on a flyer as well. Or any student SSS can also give you the QR code that they have. They can give you access as well. If you are on campus, you would visit us. We are located inside of the Union in the Office of TRIO Programs, which is Suite 124 or Suite 123. Either of those methods is an awesome opportunity for you to get involved. And if you forget all of that, Go right on, you're online on the email, and you can type Latricia Rice or Rachel, and hey, I want to get involved, and we will get you started. So just type my name in the search bar.
Yes, and every email I send, I have the QR code in my signature, so it'll be right there, but I can definitely send you the link as well. One thing I also wanted to mention is we do have an official website on UM Dearborn's page. You can get to it by going to www.umdearborn.edu/office-trio-SSS. And so once you get to that page, you can scroll down past our cool logo video, flex, and there's a button that says get more information on the Student Support Services application. If you click that, it'll take you right to the application, or the assessment, I should say, and you'll be able to fill that out. So if you're interested, that's another way that you can find that information. But I'm also going to let Austin talk about Victor's Link, because that's an awesome way to get in touch with us too.
Absolutely. So they summarize pretty well how you get involved with SSS. Those are all the necessary steps. Very straightforward, very simple. So nothing too intensive there. Victor's Link acts as the hub for all of our events and all of our activities going on as well. So students getting involved with SSS, they're not sure, well, okay, let's say they get accepted into the program. How do I actually get involved? How do I go to these events? How do I meet the people in my program? Victor's Link is the main place you want to go. All of our events are right there. Rachel will also send out email reminders about the events, workshops, field trips, etc. But Victor's Link, if let's say, I don't know, your email's not working for some reason, or Rachel has you blocked, then you would go on Victor's Link and you would check the events there. So that's just a great resource to help students get involved with SSS physically. We also have a WhatsApp group chat. So if you want to get in touch with actual students in your program, or students in SSS, I should say, that WhatsApp group chat is fantastic. And it also has Rachel, the tutor mentors, in there as well. So if any questions, any short questions, that you just want to pop in the WhatsApp, want a quick answer to, there, feel free to do so. So those are just some simple ways once you're in the program to get involved. Victor's Link, WhatsApp, and then just building that community with your fellow students in the program.
Yes, for sure. And thank you all for answering that question. I really love that you all have your own website, and also the Victor's Link is super helpful, especially because it's all in one place. So that's very wonderful. Another question, what are some fun facts about SSS?
Oh, that's hilarious. Fun facts about SSS. One fun fact I would say is SSS is interconnected with the other programs through the Office of TRIO programs. So if you're a part of SSS, you might also work with Gear Up. You may also work with Upward Bound math and science students, and we go on field trips together sometimes. You may interact with those students, so you have an opportunity to be a mentor yourself, especially on those type of field trips. So you're exposed to a plethora of different age groups and environments, and it's just nice. I would say the fun fact is we're all one, if you will.
Oh, I love that. I was thinking, like, Latricia, as you were talking, SSS isn't just a UM Dearborn thing. So when you guys hear, okay, what is the benefit of going to, UM Dearborn, UM Flint, UM Ann Arbor, that Block M is recognized everywhere, right? Like, that's a networking thing. Well, so is SSS, because SSS, like I mentioned, it's not just here at UM Dearborn, it's everywhere. We have, other Michigan colleges that have it, Grand Valley State University, Eastern has, an SSS program, different institutions around the state. So it's not just something, and around the nation. So it's not just something that, UM Dearborn has. When you are an SSS student, you can connect with people out in California or out in, Nebraska or Maine or, wherever. So I think a really cool fun fact is that you're not alone in SSS either. Like, even though we're here, you have, SSS family members across the nation. So definitely take advantage of the resources that are provided, and you can build that networking tree.
I do want to add this in real quickly, just to piggyback on what Rachel said. Because we are international, like SSS is all over, it's a part of TRIO. There are so many different celebrities that are also SSS or have gone through a TRIO program. You know, Viola Davis, and there's so many others. They have listed that they are TRIO. Again, TRIO has over 8 different programs, and many of the celebrities have been a part of the TRIO programs, and that's just a fun fact. So I'm going to tag it on to Austin now.
Absolutely. And my fun fact, Rachel stole it, but it's always good to reiterate it. SSS is a national thing. There's SSS members all over. So like Rachel said, you're not alone. And another fun fact is we are hoping in the future, sometime in the near future, but not quite yet, to maybe pair with another student sports services program, either a field trip and informative, something like that. So facts about SSS in general, just not being alone. We're probably going to pair up with one eventually in the future for a fun workshop or a fun event, fun field trip. So look forward to that. As usual, the event, when it comes around, will be posted on VictorSling, so you can keep your eye out for it. But just that fact that you're not alone and that this program branches out, because I think a lot of people, when they think of SSS, they think of it as a U of M Dearborn thing. They may not be sure what it is. They think, oh, that's just, something U of M Dearborn does, who cares? No, this is something that a ton of people recognize and know universities across the nation. So, and as Latricia recognized, there's celebrities who went through this program. So it is a renowned program that is super beneficial. So don't think that this is something on a small scale that matters. It'll matter. You'll recognize people, you'll branch out to people, and it's great, as Latricia was saying, for in college to network. College is all about networking. If you get involved in this program, the people you meet in the program at your university will come in handy one day. And you can also network with people in SSS groups that are across the nation because you share that common goal. So I think it's just great to be able to branch out like that and to be able to communicate with other students in other programs and to recognize that you're not alone in this.
So thank you all for sharing those really fun facts about SSS. I know you mentioned how it's a very national thing and there's so many different people and students involved, but we're going to take it a little bit more local. We're going to go to the next slide. And what would you have to say to incoming UM Dearborn students, whether they be incoming freshmen or transfer students?
As a new U of M Dearborn student, I strongly encourage you to make sure you attend the orientation. A lot of times new students may feel like they don't need to attend the orientation. I have a map, I can know where I'm gonna go, but attending the orientation gives you so much great insight. It also will allow you an opportunity to definitely know where everything is without depending on your map because you'll get a chance to walk through and see what's going on. So making sure you attend the orientation, make sure you meet with different advisors, make sure you look at the list. There's a guide that you can look at to see what are the support programs on the campus. That's essential. Even if I'm new here, I don't necessarily need support right now. Guess what? At one point, we all need somebody. So you want to make sure you are aware of what support is available to you on this campus as a new student. If I had an issue with the class, how do I rectify it? These are things that you would need to know. So if you're new to U of M Dearborn, attend the orientation, get involved, and make sure you are looking at what support programs and systems are available on campus.
I love all of that. Personally, so I told the story about, going to class and going back to my room at the Union. I would not recommend that. So I would recommend getting involved with at least one thing, whether it's a club, an organization, a scholar community, talent gateway, athletics, like just pick one thing. Especially if you had cold feet like I did when I was on campus. I was afraid. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to get involved in. So that would be my advice, get involved with at least one thing. So you have that one, support person in your corner. I'll plug it, make it SSS because that's why we're here. So very cliche, but that's what I would recommend, getting involved with SSS. But then also to kind of piggyback on what Latricia said, like, if I had to give one huge piece of advice, it would be to meet with your academic advisor at least once a semester. like right before, you register for classes for the next semester. At least meet with them, make sure that you're on track. Sometimes students don't meet with their academic advisor, and then they get all the way to the senior year and realize that they're missing like credits that they need to graduate. So that extends their time. Your academic advisor is a resource. They're your friend. Meet with them. If you don't want to meet with your academic advisor, you don't know what questions to ask, you don't know what to do during the meeting, come see me. Come see a tutor mentor. We can help you through that process and, write down those questions so that way you can take them with you. Or even help propose, that preferred schedule so you can take it with you and be prepared for your meeting with them. But definitely join SSS or something else. Get involved, not too involved, but get involved with at least one or two things, and then meet with your academic advisor regularly. So once a semester.
That's great advice. And I think the advice that I would give to a new U of M Dearborn student would be, first of all, to join either a club, a student org, or to get involved with something, as was mentioned earlier, because I do think that's key. If you want to get involved with the community, if you want to branch out, make friends, have that experience, that's pretty much the first thing you want to do. You want to get involved with something, because if you don't get involved with something, it's not just going to fall from the sky into your lap. You do have to take that step to see, what do you want to join? What do you want to get involved with? And then take the appropriate steps to do that. As Rachel said, I would also say get involved with SSS. I know it's a cop-out answer, but it's true. And then we can also help you with those steps as well. But I think the biggest advice I would give to a new U of M Dearborn student is that a lot of students who come into college, I think, have this notion that they're going to be on their own island. They're not going to thrive like they think they will. They're not going to be like these other people they see on campus. I remember visiting campuses before I made my choice, looking around at all the friendships being made and like all the great experiences, just walking through a campus, just seeing how much fun people were having. And in the back of my head, it's like, what if that doesn't happen with me? What if something happens where I don't thrive in an environment like that? What if I'm the odd one out? And I think it's normal for every student to have that thought, for every student to be worried or self-conscious or stressed about going to college, because it's the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to experience. But I think the advice I would give is that every student has that. So you're not the only one. Every student has those worries and concerns. And in the end, every student ends up graduating or being fine or going through that experience. So my advice would be to push those thoughts aside, to realize that there are people here that want to see you succeed and to see you thrive. And one of those resources is SSS. And so don't let those worries get to you. Everyone has those thoughts. My advice would be to you only get this experience once. So go in with a healthy mindset, see your advisors, Rachel said, get involved with something and have fun. Get involved with SSS, and that's what it's here for. Have fun, give you that support, and just make your experiences as great as we can make it.
I love that. I just want to make sure I add one more thing that I did not mention before. Get a job on campus. I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that. When I graduated from U of M Dearborn, I was still working as a tutor through the Academic Support and Outreach Services Department at that time is what it was called. And I went to U of M in Ann Arbor to get my master's in social work. Well, because I was still a U of M employee being a tutor, the apartment complex that I lived in took $200 off my rent every month because they gave concessions to U of M employees. So just having a job as a student employee, some housing complexes will give you a rent concession per month because you're still considered a U of M employee. So get a job on campus.
I love those pieces of advice, especially the job on campus one. Horatio and I are both orientation leaders, and honestly, one of the best parts about having a job on campus is being able to do stuff like this and network with people that you wouldn't have networked with before. We work super close with all of the advisors in almost every college. So whether or not we knew who those advisors were before, we definitely do now. And even if we weren't a part of this amazing program, we would be getting to sit here and speak with you about all the amazing things that you provide for students. And every one of these answers have been so helpful. And so kind of to wrap up today's podcast and end on a little personal note, we're going to ask what some fun facts are about you. And I'll go first. I am a musician. I play the French horn, so.
I love that. Musician. I love music. So a fun fact about me is in high school, I had 4 years of Chinese and 4 years of Spanish. One more fun fact, I played the clarinet from elementary through my freshman year in high school, and I was first chair.
Clarinet buddies, yay! I also play clarinet, but that's not my fun fact. I guess, oh, sorry, I'm gonna share two. One is I love to garden, so I have a whole garden outside. It's wonderful, amazing. I love growing things from seed and watching them flourish. But my second fun fact is that you can spot me, and I feel like at least 3 to 4 different places on the campus website. And if you find it and screenshot it and send me a picture, I'll give you like a gold star or something.
Very cool. Boy, this is always a tough one. Fun fact about me. I guess I have this weird obsession with I'm a big I have like a collective personality. I like to collect things. I get in like these habits of collecting random things. But one that I've stuck with my whole life, I've collected decks of cards since I was like 10. And I don't know why, but I've always just collected decks of cards. And my goal one day is to take them and to have these glass cases and to kind of display them around the room. I just think they're aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I don't know, but that's my fun facts that I usually tell people.
All right. And just as Kayla said, to wrap up, my fun fact is that I'm also a musician, and I have this weird secret talent that I am able to actually play the guitar behind my head. And it's always cool to show people because they're like, well, how do you do that? And anyway, so we're gonna go into the next slide. It's just Latricia, Rachel's, and Austin's contact information. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. But yeah, is there anything else, last minute things you guys want to say?
Yeah, so people can still use that, that website. That website is correct. We just have a shorter one that we like to provide as well. So again, that's www.umdearborn.edu/office-trio-SSS.
Perfect. Thank you, Rachel. And if you are ready to keep mastering Maize and Blue, you can visit our website at umdearborn.edu/mastering Maize and Blue for previous and future episodes. We look forward to that. Yeah.
Go Blue and go Dearborn.